As the cliche goes, April showers bring May flowers. But usually what comes after is the heat and dryness of summer. Hello again, Essay here. And before the hot weather of the holiday shows up, you should indulge in my new short story, The White Cat, a free exclusive on Substack. The links are down below in description. Join Margot Thompson, a beautiful stage actress and recent widow who finds salvation in the form of a white cat during a night of terror. While checking out my oddball thriller, remember that my Glitch series is still available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. The links are down below in the description. While you'll find my peculiar story about a white pussy entertaining, that doesn't mean I'm out of ideas. I still have more stories coming down the pike, so as long as I don't run into any mishaps, you'll see those stories as well. Now let's get back to the video.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Hello again, Essay here. What is it to lose one's mind? And I'm not talking about mere psychosis, neurosis, psychosis. I mean just to be triggered. And you say, oh, well, that happens all the time. That's why they have trigger warnings. Yeah, true. But sometimes being triggered has less to do with someone's, let's just say, personal peccadilloes. For example, boxers or briefs, or someone being allergic to peanuts. Yeah. But then again, of course, it can be ideological. But also, it could be force of habit. Because I remember there was this great scene in The Wild Bunch, Sam Peckinpah film. And there's a scene where the outlaws, led by this character Pike, spoke to his other Confederates, and he basically spoke about how they were always robbing banks, no trains. But then they said that there was this one guy who worked for the railroad called Harrigan, and they said that when they robbed that train one too many times, they forced Harrigan to change his modus operandi, where he ran a railroad. And in the aftermath, they said this guy Harrigan, he got super angry because he had gotten set in his ways. And because the Wild Bunch kept robbing his train, he was forced to change his ways, and he didn't like that at all. So he basically got triggered. But in a purely individual sense, that can happen to anyone. It doesn't matter if you're running a railroad or simply going to the local shopping mall and then seeing something that you didn't expect to see, and then you get triggered and you get angry. And you say, well, you have to be a moron to be that. True. But some people are so pick-snickery. In other words, you can't like talk about them about certain issues. You can't even or do anything around them that might cause them to go off. Now I'm going to show you a video from that big dude, Journey from the Quartering, and he basically is ragging on this one particular clown, some wannabe journalist who gets triggered over what was obviously a troll. Having to do with the Pride Month, and you have to see it for yourself. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
Have gotten completely insane. The left is completely unhinged, which is so wild to me. This story encapsulates everything hypocritical about this month, everything hypocritical about the live and let live, except wait, no, I don't want to be left alone to live my life. I want you. I need you. In fact, I demand you affirm my existence at any given moment, with any time I see fit. You must bend the knee to me. That's what these people are like, many of them. I'm sure there are many in the community that just want to be left alone to live their life, and I salute you. But online, a simple free beer for breeders celebration has now gone international in the meltdown level. And it's so funny to just see the completely revealed hypocrisy of the left, who are constantly saying, oh, well, you can't. Oh, what are you, a snowflake? You can't handle the rainbow flag? Are you a snowflake? Oh, you can't handle a parade? Are you a snowflake? Meanwhile, they're like going on this Facebook page for a small bar in a small town that they've never been to. And like, I hate you. I'm creating fake Facebook accounts because I'm so angry about it. You must affirm me. You're a snowflake. It's like, well, wait, I'm not the one writing absurd, unhinged hit pieces. They're the ones doing that. Michael Deeds is doing that. And oh, by the way, just so we know, not to bury the lead, this bar, Old State Saloon, had their biggest sales day in history yesterday. Just saying. People were driving hundreds of miles to take a picture there and have a beer and celebrate hetero awesomeness month. And I give them my salute on that. Let's look at one of the meltdowns that's absolutely hilarious. This is from Michael Deeds. Free beer for straight men. Eagle Bar's hetero month puts trans and transparent bigotry. This seems like a little bit like a cope. This seems like a little bit like a cope. Let's see how the replies go. Replies are going 26 likes or 26 comments to just 2 likes. Man, Twitter's a different place these days, isn't it? No disrespect, Eagle, but Old State Saloon probably is the last bar on earth I'd ever want to drink a pint at. Wait. You can't even write. No disrespect, Eagle, but Old State Saloon probably is the last bar on earth I'd ever want to drink a pint. You mean a pint at? The first sentence has a typo. And that's coming from me. One of the worst writers maybe documented history. Yet I'm suddenly battling a bizarre urge to strap on my wife's high heels, to hobble down to the town's extremist watering hole, to challenge the nearest macho man to a friendly arm wrestling match. Loser buys beer. Okay, I accept. I'd be earning my free suds the hard way, even if it felt good to make a point. Because in June, Old State Saloon is unleashing its latest face-palming promotion, Hetero Awesomeness Month. What's wrong with that? You know? What's wrong with that? Just live and let live, right? The heteros, the breeders just want to live. They just want to live their life. Why are you publishing a hit piece on them and calling them phobic? No stranger to pot stirring, Old State Saloon's latest unfortunate stunt has incited a predictable ruckus. Nearly 700 comments in 24 hours, and counting. Instagram is a similar cluster. It's both sad and funny. An all-male Monday sounds pretty gay to me. It's not all males. It's just hetero males get a single free beer. Women are not forbidden from the bar. Again, these people can't even... If it's like challenge to be honest, difficulty level impossible. I read their Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday specials one time ever, and I know that it's men get a one free pint on Mondays, and couples get 15% off on like Wednesdays or Thursdays. That's it. No, it's not men only. I mean, what? Old State Saloons claim to have banned 25 negative Facebook commenters for using horrific words, expletives, and using the Lord's name in vain. What's wrong with that? I bet you this person blocks people. I bet you this clown blocks people. I bet you if I replied to his Twitter and called him something that I can't say in these videos on some websites, he'd probably block me. If you're like me, you've lived in Boise your whole life. You're familiar with the historic Orville Jackson's Eagle drugstore building. It's been there. It's welcoming. It's a watering hole. From his Zillow real estate broker profile, my family relocated to Eagle, blah, 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 blah. So they have conspiracy theory trivia with a AR-15 as a prize. That seems awesome. So what if they lean into it, by the way? You see these comments, so much anger and vitriol from Deeds here. Where's the tolerance and acceptance of different ideas, Mike? I just love how it exposes these clowns. I get it, Mike. Only some diversity needs to be honored. Congratulations, pal. Your snarky and condescending opinion piece just cost your employer a subscription. Oops. Rich people don't have to tell you they're rich. Christians don't have to tell you they're Christian. Innocent people don't have to tell you they're innocent. Sounds like a participation trophy. I mean, I believe American citizens are entitled to far right and far out opinions, but I'm confident that most barstool conversations struck up at Old State Saloons just ain't my bag. I provide the same advice to you, and I suggest those opposed to Pride event in Nampa don't go. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's not going to go down there. He's fantasizing about going down there and totally owning the chuds while writing a poorly written, at that, article full of spelling errors and grammatical issues. By the way, their Give, Send, Go is now up to $7,100 after several vendors allegedly refused to deliver to their facilities because of their hetero awesomeness month. I mean, I don't even understand on what planet you can't, this is revealing the real snowflakes. That's the best part about it, is like, this reveals the real, so you get articles on every single website. If we go to their Facebook, yesterday was our biggest Monday in sales ever, hashtag hetero awesomeness. You could see a lot of the comments. Keep up the good work, push back at every opportunity. Ignore the straitophobes. They're not worth your time. I just love that their language, like their woke lexicon, is getting used against them. Heard about this on Fox News and had to follow you all the way from Ohio. Well done. Fight the good fight. People claim they want equality and equity, but what they really want is special treatment. Why can't all orientations be proud? Next time in Idaho, I'm stopping by for a beer. Following from Texas, long live true conservatives. Conservatives are sick and tired of liberals throwing crap in their face. They finally come out of their shell to stand up for what's right when they get pushed too far. Sure wish you're located in my city. Yeah, I mean, hetero awesomeness should be something that exists in every state and every bar. Why not? If you can have a Pride Day, which, by the way, nobody's saying you can't. I mean, maybe some people are, but I'm not. If you're a bar and you want to have a Pride Month celebration, I think you should be 100% entitled to do so. Really, I do. You want Pride Month? You can have Pride Month, like legitimately. But why can't they have Hetero Month? You know, why can't they have month to celebrate hetero awesomeness? Joe and Diane Karam drove 400 miles out of their way to support us in Hetero Awesomeness Month. What an honor and a pleasure to meet them. I mean, I absolutely love this. I live a long way, but I'm willing to fly, drive, and kayak there. Your Hetero Awesomeness Month celebration is exactly what this country needs. Now they have Hetero Awesomeness merch, beers for breeders, that apparently says. I mean, like, I get it. It's just like this dopey, like goofy thing that they're doing. But like, okay, so what? They're allowed to do that. And if you go to the reviews, you know, you could see the tides are turning. It's the best place to go. This is absolutely the best saloon in the universe. Great place, must go to bar when in town. Amazing service and drinks. It's okay to stand for your faith and run your business how you want. They were down to like a 2 out of 5 average review yesterday. But since then, since they started getting media coverage, the tides have changed and the overwhelming amount of reviews are positive. Great bar with great owners. Atmosphere and promotions are excellent. Now, I suspect, again, a lot of places that a lot of these people do not live in the area or have not gone here or anything like that. You could see like great bar with great atmosphere. Don't have to play alphabet games here, but don't worry, the perpetually offended will cry about it like they always do. Then there's Sean Smith doing exactly what's predicted. It's a place that doesn't preach all that annoying tolerance. I'm not homophobic. I just prefer places exactly like me. Like and then everybody's just getting completely destroyed in the comments. It's like a total destruction, and you absolutely love to see it.
All right, you saw that. Now, of course, some of you are thinking, oh, that guy, he was probably just part of the gay crowd. Sure about that? Sure about that? No, I think if anything, this guy was probably just some typical wokester. Now, of course, a lot of you smart cookies already know what that wokeism is. It's basically something that was born out of old postmodernism, you know, deconstructionist movement. And the funny thing is, the fact that this guy got so triggered, or the fact that people were just, you know, trolling the Pride Month and saying, hey, we're going to have a heterosexual month where you're just handing out free beers. And the fact that the people are way out there in the middle of Iowa, and probably not even in Boise, probably out in the countryside somewhere, the fact that this clown got so triggered about something that he would never have to see, never have to hear about. I mean, think about it. If the internet had never existed, this guy never would have heard about it. He could have gone on along his merry life and never would have gotten triggered. But the fact that a bunch of people thousands of miles away trolling the Pride movement by having their own little heterosexual get-together just threw the guy, cause the guy to throw a gasket, metaphorically speaking. And indeed, this has always been a problem with some of these radical wokesters. Because now some of you say, well, maybe he's just what they call a gay pride activist. Oh, really? Oh, really? Because anyone who knows anything about the gay crowd is that, well, the world, there's always had gays on the planet. I mean, for example, old Hadrian, the guy who built Hadrian's Wall, yeah, he was a homosexual. And how about old Edward II of England? Yeah, he was a closeted gay guy. And anyone remembers that movie Braveheart? You know, that Mel Gibson film? Yeah, well, they had a small little snippet in the film where it showed old Longshanks grabbing the future, the future king of England, who was being played, I forgot who the actor's name was, and grabbed his boyfriend and threw him out the window. Remember that scene? Yeah, yeah. Well, that guy, that old Longshanks threw out the window. He was the boyfriend of his son, the Prince of Wales, who would become the future King of England, Edward II. So even Mel Gibson knew the story about Edward II being a homosexual. So there you go. But still, the fact that this guy got so triggered shows that, in all likelihood, he was just one of those wokesters. And of course, the hilarious thing is that this is not the only instance where people are basically pushing back against this gay pride stuff. I mean, for example, Target, yeah, Target stores. They used to have pride stuff in the store like every month. But then a year ago, when they had a bunch of pride stuff for kids, and when I mean kids, I ain't talking about something as innocuous like maybe a T-shirt or a baseball cap. No, they were selling pride stuff where little kids, it was like maybe mostly little boys, could tuck their junk. And believe me, a little kid really doesn't have any junk to tuck anyway. So there you go. And they were selling little underwear for little boys where they could tuck their junk. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? And indeed, multiple people said the same thing. Are you kidding me? And there was such a uproar about that. And there was a informal boycott of Target that this year around, guess what? You ain't seeing no underwear for little boys where they can tuck their junk in the store this year. In fact, there's no pride stuff at all this year. And of course, some of you smart cookies say, oh, well, that's just rainbow capitalism. I agree. And of course, anyone who knows better knows that these corporations, whether it be Microsoft or damn ExxonMobil or whatever, they don't really care about the gay crowd. It's all basically smoke and mirrors. And that's the most hilarious part of all. I mean, anyone who's been paying attention to, like, say, Twitter, X, and would see some of these corporations' Twitter accounts would change their logo to like the rainbow colors during the Pride Month. But then if you go like outside the United States, you don't see them doing that. Why do you suppose that is? Because it's pandering? And I'm thinking, why are you pandering to a bunch of people who don't buy your product? See? And most people have gotten wise to it. And wait for it, you ready? Most actual gay people don't care. And I should know, I actually know some gay people over the decades. Yeah, for example, my Uncle Lou, who is no longer in this world, yeah, his next door neighbor was a gay guy. I didn't know. And I spoke to the guy a couple of times. He seemed okay. I mean, he wasn't running around like RuPaul with a bunch of crazy, face paint and stuff and working in micro mini and high heels. I meant nothing like that. Just an ordinary dude. In fact, it was my Uncle Tom who told me afterwards, yeah, those people next door, he said, yeah, that's a gay couple. And I said, what, really? I said, They didn't come off as like, really, out there. They seemed normal. And indeed, there was this gay guy that worked in the hospital when my mother had her first stroke. He was a physical therapist. Now, the funny thing is, I could tell he was gay because he sounded like a Roddy McDowell. That weird kind of effeminate like tone in his voice. But beyond that, the guy was normal. And I kind of gave him like the side eye a couple of times when he would talk. And even though I never said anything to him because I knew the guy wasn't English. But it was just that he had that weird effeminate tone in his voice. He almost sounded like a girl when he talked. And I just kind of said, that's a weird way your guy, and I'm thinking, man, that's a weird way this guy's talking. And I kind of figured it out and I said, oh, he's homosexual, okay. But yeah, beyond that, the guy was normal. But of course, as anyone's been seeing recently, when they have these so-called pride events during Pride Month, I mean, they are really like over the top and beyond the moon. In fact, it reminds me of that old documentary, Paris is Burning. And of course, some of you probably never heard the film, but it's actually a hilarious film. It was about the voguing movement, and you say voguing movement, what's that? Well, anyone who's familiar with Madonna's Vogue album, yeah. Well, where do you think she got that idea for that album? Yeah, it was from the homosexuals down there in Hell's Kitchen and down there in Spanish Harlem who would have these Vogue dance, where these had these dance competitions. They would call it voguing. Yeah, that's where Madonna got that from. And they made a documentary about the whole movement. And I saw that documentary. I thought it was hilarious because the people, because remember, they were doing this primarily back in the 80s before, before RuPaul or any of that stuff. And like I said, the movie was hilarious. I thought it was laugh out loud funny because people were just so like crazy looking and acting crazier. But yeah, most of the people you see nowadays, when it comes to this stuff, most of them tend not to be homosexuals. They most tend to be leftist Marxists, or I should say cultural Marxists, not the old school like Soviet style Marxists. Because for example, you go to like say mainland China, you ain't gonna see no pride flags anywhere. Because Xi Jinping and his crowd, they don't think much of gays. Okay, just letting you know. But yeah, and of course, all this postmodernist stuff, I think it's winding down now, and it's not because what happened to Target. I mean, look what's going on in Hollywood. I mean, the people there, they're basically losing their shit, and wait for it, losing their money too, because they pushed way too much woke stuff, and people have rejected it out of hand completely. I mean, look what happened to that damn movie that came out just recently. The one that was a sequel to Fury Road. That last Mad Max film. Was it Formosa or Furimosa? Yeah, some of you probably may have heard about it. Yeah, the movie bombed. Why? Because ever heard the phrase, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me? Now, of course, some of you said, yeah, but Mad Max, that isn't woke. And I'm thinking, yeah, you're right. Especially the stuff that Mel Gibson made. None of that stuff was woke. But the fact that they had a female lead in the film, and it was a Hollywood film, people were just kind of skittish. They said, you know what? I'm not going to spend my money on this because it's probably just a bunch of woke shit. And even though most people took that attitude and decided not to watch it, it flopped. So there you go. And wait for it, anyone who's been paying attention to Disney Plus probably heard about the Alkalade. And you say, oh, me and another stupid Kathleen Kennedy garbage fest? Yeah, yep, I agree. And of course, that thing is as woke as can be. I mean, gay Jedi Knights. Yep. But of course, Kathleen Kennedy, she's a moron anyway. She don't know which way is up anyhow. But yeah, all this stuff, the whole woke deal, it's winding down. And some of these people who are not gay see it, know it's happening, and they're having a freak out. Just like you saw in that video with the big boy, Jerry from the Quartering. I mean, he probably didn't see it. I mean, he was just sitting there goofing on this guy, having a freak out about those people in Idaho. But smart cookies can say, you know why he's really having a freak out, because he see that that this guy who had a freak out about the people in their heteronormative whatever beer fest, he sees the long game. He sees that everything that he's invested his time and resources in, all the woke stuff, is winding down. That the young crowd that's coming up, the Generation Z, and the Generation Alpha, the kiddies that are still in school, they don't like this shit. They don't embrace it. I mean, indeed, right now, up in Canada, they tried to have Pride event at the various local schools in Canada, and the kids and the parents say, "No way, Jose, we ain't going for this." And you say, well, that's their prerogative. Yeah, but the thing is, before, the parents and the kids were kind of silent on it. They just said, okay, fine, let them have their little pride moment, put their little stupid rainbow flag up in front of the school. But this year, apparently, there's been a change up in Canada. And you say, what about that Justin Trudeau knucklehead? Well, apparently people figure he ain't be around much longer anyway. He's a moron. But yeah, the people up in Canada said, no, we don't want this shit no more. And the people who have been running the school system for years in Canada, they see it. And they don't know what to do. And indeed, according to the Clay Morris at the Redacted, he said that, yeah, they were trying to get around the quiet protests against the so-called pride celebration of these people at these various Canadian schools were planning by putting on a different day. But apparently it wasn't working, because when they tried to pull that stunt, guess what? The kids refused to participate anyway. So there you go. So yeah. You could say that all this stuff, this woke postmodernist garbage is going away. And I have to admit, that's not a bad thing. Now, of course, you'll probably still have gay guys around. Yeah, they're not going anywhere. But all this loud, boisterous wokeism with all that's kind of wrapped in all these other various things, like the postmodernism and the deconstructionism, and of course the gay crowd, it's all just going bye-bye. And I'm pretty certain that by the 2030s, 2040s, for sure, it will be gone. And it won't be in your face anymore, because a whole new generation of people will rise up and say, nah, we're not in this stuff no more. I mean, it's sort of like what happened with the counterculture movement in the 1960s. I remember that. I mean, I was a wee little kid, but I remember those hippie types. And then what happened? By the time 1980s rolls around, calling it counterculture, the hippie movement, it was gone. Went bye-bye. And that's what's likely going to happen. And the way trends are heading, that's likely what's going to happen with woke stuff. Well, that's all I got to say about woke people having hissy fits about people in Iowa and their little trolling beer fest. And that's my opinion.